I've gotten a few questions about how to find the thermostability assay results that you are asked to present and describe and interpret in your lab assignment. And so I wanted to just make a quick video to show you guys how you can access that. So I'm talking about this part of your lab assignment here, question number 7, where it says insert an image of your correctly formatted figure showing the T50 curves generated from the data obtained in part 3 of the enzyme assay lab for both the wild type and the mutant bagel bee. And I give you the reminder that you're obtaining these curves from your variant records, your mutant records that you created already in the D2D database. You folks created your mutant records and you started entering information and data in those records. And after I did the thermostability assay for you, I went ahead and uploaded that thermostability data to your records. So when you log into the D2D database, you'll be able to find those. So let me show you how to do that so that you're able to find your data. So if you don't have a direct link to the D2D database, you can find the link in our Canvas page by going to the lab materials page. And then the top link says Design to Data Links. If you click that, you will see the second link down in that page is a direct link to the D2D database. And that'll take you to the splash page, which is the database itself. But you want to find, excuse me, got a little bit of a cough. You want to find your mutants record that you created. So first of all, double check that you're logged in by hovering over the avatar in the upper right of your screen. You should still be logged in, but if not, go ahead and log in. And then what you're going to want to do is go to the dashboard. And in the dashboard, if you were the person in your group who created the variant record, then you're going to see that down here in the My Submissions section. If you weren't the person who created your mutant record, then you're going to have to search for it. And so you'll do that by clicking the single variant link over here. And then you're going to select bagel bee enzyme in the drop down and type in your mutant name. So let's say I'm in the group that did F77A mutant. I'm going to search for that, and then here I'll be able to find the record that I'm looking for. You can see who the creator was, and over here on the right hand side under the actions column you can click view, and that's going to bring you to that variant record that your group created. If you take a look at the checklist, all of this stuff up here, you folks entered that data when you created your record. I have entered the thermostability data for you, so those two things have been checked off. So you have thermostability assay data uploaded. This is your mutant, and then the wild type that was tested on the same plate is right below it. So let's go ahead and take a look at this group's mutant thermostability data. When you click that link, it'll bring up the plot. All right, so here's the T50 curve. So again, what that shows is temperature on the x-axis and amount of product formation normalized to the original activity of the enzyme at low temperatures. So the way this assay is done is we have enzyme exposed to increasing temperature, and then we test the ability of the enzyme to catalyze the reaction. And this curve shows that at low temperatures we have high activity, and then at some point as the protein starts to denature, that activity falls off, ultimately ending up at 0 at the higher temperatures, right? And so that point at which the enzyme loses 50% of its activity we call T50, and we can compare that number for the mutant and the wild type. So it looks like for the mutant, for this group, that T50 was 35.02 plus or minus 0.16 degrees Celsius. And if we go back to the checklist, we can see what the wild type looked like that was run on the same plate. Excuse me. And so we see first thing we see is a little bit more variability for that wild type. Not great pipetting there, Susie. But the T50, we see 37.29 plus or minus 0.50 degrees Celsius for the wild type. So for that particular mutant record, it looks like the mutant was a little bit more sensitive to temperature since it lost activity at a lower temperature, right? And so these are images, and you can just copy the image and come over to your lab assignment, and you can paste it, adjust it, add your figure legend. Remember that a correctly formatted figure includes a figure number and legend below. So you're going to want to have these T50 curves, again, for both your mutant and your wild type, and you get that from your variant record. Hope that was helpful. Reach out if you have any more questions about how to do that part of your lab assignment.